Voice training, it's time for voice training. Voice training, train your voice so you like it. It's voice training. Hi. It's me, Bria. Welcome to voice training. I hope you're ready to train. You're ready to work hard. Before we start, I've been a little depressed this week. My beloved fish, Josuke, who you may have seen in the last week's stream, he very tragically jumped out of his bowl and died, as fish sometimes do. So it actually really affected me this week. It threw me right off. So forgive my messy appearance, and rest in peace, Josuke. We loved you. We've got water. I hope you've got somewhere comfy to sit. I hope you are in a safe space where you can make some silly sounds. Last week, we had worked on mostly, what was it? Breathy Voice? I think we mostly worked on Breathy Voice. And we were just starting to get into speaking, if I recall correctly. And if I'm wrong, I don't care, because I already know what we're doing today. What I want to do is I want to do a rather comprehensive coverage of basically everything we would need to do to get up to speaking a sentence. Simple phrase. That sounds like a good idea, yeah? It sounds like maybe something we'd be interested in building up to, yeah? So that's what I want to work on today. So sit up nice and straight. Let's just take some of those deep diaphragmatic breaths using your stomach muscles. Good. We're going to go to our non-voiced atonal vowel sounds, breathing it out. You go. You follow along. Ha, he, hi, how. Good. Take a sip of water. Hopefully that didn't make you too lightheaded. Next, we're going to yawning. So now we want to make a sound with this breath, pushing the air out with your stomach muscles. Try it out. Good. We're going to try doing the opposite of that, where we're going upwards rather than settling into the yawn, into the breathiness. We're trying to keep it breathy all the way through, but we're going up in pitch. So like this. Try again. And you can try having your hand up to feel that air on your hand. Lots of warm air. Do you feel it? Don't sweat it if you don't have as much. Let's go into what I just call the basic breathy note, like a ha sound, sort of like that atonal we did before, but now we're giving it a sound. But we're not just going ha, but we're doing the breathy voice, which if you've watched a previous video, you know. is with that breathy thing we've been doing at the last few exercises. We're going moving air. I'm relaxed in the shoulders. I'm pushing with my stomach. And I'm still making a little bit of sound. I can have my hand up on this one. Oh, I felt lots of warm air. Why don't you try it out? Yeah? Make sense? Listen again. Easy, right? Good, good. Next, we're going to do increasing pitch, which we would have done last week, where I'm going to go and you're going to go up in pitch. Let's see if you can get a little bit higher than you did last week. We're going to be going to start. Why don't you go? Ready? Yeah. Good. We're going one note higher. Can you do that? Did you do as well as you did last week? We're still warming up. Don't sweat if you're not at 100%. Keep going higher. And if you reach your peak and you don't feel like you can go any higher, keep trying to match that pitch on each subsequent one we do. But for everyone else, let's go one higher. I'm getting a little tighter here. How are you doing? Ooh, I'm definitely tightening out. How are you doing? Can you beat your coach? Oh, I think that's my limit. I was still getting air, but it was a little tight. How are you doing on it? Wow, good. I'm really glad you were able to stick it out with me and to keep going, even if you reached your limit and you kept making sounds. That's good. That means you worked to your limit and you got stronger this session. Have a little water. Now that we've gone up in pitch, let's go back to that yawn, but we're going to do what I call the Glissando Yawn, where we're going up and down in pitch in one breath, like you hear singers and actors do backstage before performance. Just going... I'm starting somewhere, going higher, and then coming back down to where I started. Easy, right? All in one breath. I'm taking a deep breath in before it. Why don't you try it out? Easy, right? Good. We don't need to push that super hard. We just want to move it around, be able to make higher pitches in, all in one continuous sound. It's a very important part of feminine voice pattern, so it's not a bad thing to work into your workouts and warm-ups. Let's move on to the other side of things when it comes to voice, the pinchier side of things, the tighter side of things, the side that has less to do with moving air and more with clenching the muscles in your throat. And of course, you can review back to my prior episodes if any of this stuff doesn't quite make sense, but try to follow along if you are new to this. Tighten up the bottom of your throat in here, this popping sound. We call it grudge ghost because it's like that movie. Tight at the bottom of the throat, just exhaling a bit of air with tightness gives you this popping, croaking sound. Yeah? Here, I'll give you space. I'll go one more. Try it out. You feeling nice and tight? Tight. If you've done this before, do you feel like you can get it really low in here? Are you aware of where it's happening in your body? This is important. I'll do one more here. That one was a little higher in my throat. Where are you feeling this one? Maybe let's try going up one higher in the throat. You still getting that croaky tightness? Should start to feel it more in your nose, maybe around the roof of your mouth. A lot of nose happening here for me. How about you? Oh, now we're getting into this more pure pinchy voice. Oh, I can really feel my nose influencing it. That's how I'm able to get a little higher. How are you doing with that? Still getting some tightness? Oh, I feel like I'm treading the line here with my pure pinchy voice. I might lose the tightness in my throat if I go much higher. I'm going to try one more. You should do one more with me. I don't know. I feel like maybe I could do one more. How about you? You still going? Is throat still feeling okay? Let's go one higher here. Oh, it's turning into the nasal compression. Tight in my nose, very little happening in my throat. How are you doing at this range? How's your throat feeling? Have a little water, regardless of how it's feeling. You earned it. Next, let's return to what you need to do to get this into your nose. That's what I call the Bugs Bunny. You just curl, you know, your whatever this is, and your lips go up, and your teeth come out like you're a bunny, and you get that tightness in here like we had with the How about you try it? Yeah? Do you feel in your nose?
Can you get up in here? Talk over here in a nerdy voice?
Then you got that tight nose pressure, so when you go higher and higher and higher on the you hear that? I don't know if it comes through in the mic, but you get that that nasally tightness. And you'll feel it. If you make a sound that's like that, you'll feel it in your nose. Why don't we try one more round of going up? Since this is a workout, we're going to try this again. This is now, think of it in the pinchy sound, which, if you're new to this, don't sweat. We're just going at the bottom of our throat with that tight clenching. Follow along. We're going to go up. And try and think about implementing your nose. Oh, it's getting into that squeaky nose realm for me. How about you? Oh, that's breaking for me. How about you? Yeah? Good job. Have a little water. How's your throat feeling after that? The water helps soothe it. Take a few breaths if you need to. If your throat is hurting, don't worry about having to take a little break. You can always pause this video if you're watching it on YouTube. And if you're following along live, don't sweat it. I should give you a few more breaks than I sometimes do. It's easy for me to get carried away. Let's go to a related exercise to this, the Creaky Door, which is in the same realm of this tightness in the throat. But like the Glissando we did before, this is going up in pitch and in the position in our throat with the tightness in one smooth action. The squeaky door. You know, we did that before. At the top there, when it's really squeaky, that's pure nose. That's why we cultivate that nasal feeling. And not just like right here, shrinks it down. It can give you a bit more of a shrill, you know, aspect to your voice. But you can get it up. I'm still learning to really implement it into my speech. I'm still learning here too, by the way. I'm still growing with my voice. There's certain aspects of super high-pitched squeakiness that are slightly beyond my ability, or at least to be able to consistently use. There's good days and there's bad days. Everybody has that with their voice, no matter who they are. But this nasal pressure, I'm doing okay with it today. Yeah, that stuff, that's where you get it. And with this exercise, that's how you really develop it. So, I'll give you another example and we'll do a couple more rounds of this. Can you do that? Can you go up and then back down again? You have to hold on to the tightness in here throughout the whole thing. Yeah. And don't sweat it if you can't get up into the squeak range. Even if yours just sounds like that's okay. That's a good start. You're going up. But now see, the earlier ones, I feel like I was putting more into the back of my mouth, and the last one I put more into my nose, and it gave it more of that feeling, which we kind of want, right? So think about it like that. If it's too much in the back of your throat or in your mouth, it can contribute to a slightly heavier, maybe more masculine sounding sound. Not telling anyone how to speak, because this is all about you figuring out the things you like to do with your voice and what makes you feel good about your voice. I can't tell you how to speak. Like I was saying today, we're going to build up to the things you need to speak sentences, but I'm not going to like say, this is how you speak, girl. Like no, it's about, there's certain guidelines we can follow, but like, I can just give you exercises that you can practice and give you opportunities to try things with your voice. And then if you like it, you like it, and you move in that direction with your voice. Okay, so we did the let's go to different sounds. So we were doing everything so far with the sound. There's other ones like a sound. So we did breathy Let's try breathy a. So we're going hey. That's the moving the air, pushing with your stomach, hand up. I felt lots of nice warm air in my hand. I'll give you another example here. Hey. You go. Yeah? Hey. Getting air on your hand. I got my finger down here so I can do the your turn button, but you should have your hand up, okay? Promise me you do that. I can't police you. I can't make you do it, but try it out, okay? Hey. Yeah. Hey. One more. Hey. Good. Have a little sip of water. Next, let's go to pinchy A. So that's the opposite. Rather than hand up, pushing the air, it's tightness in the throat going A. Same as like the or the or that we just did. It's for or A. And really try and get that nose in it. It'll really shrink it down. A. Try it out. A. No one would ever speak like this, but it trains vocal fry. A. 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 How's it feel? Getting that tightness, getting the kind of buzziness? Have a little water. Let's go to breathy E is the next sound we do. So we're going felt lots of air on my hand. Try it out. You feeling the air? You pushing it? Doing all right with this? Push the air. Use your teeth. I forgot to put the your turn sign. Hopefully you did it. Yeah. Hopefully you're able to move some air with that. Have a little another little sip of water. Another little. We're gonna go to Pinchy. Really give it lots of that nose. Going. Really clench it in. Tighten the throat, high in the nose. Good. Can you turn yours on and off at will? I'll show you on mine here. I'm like clenching and releasing a muscle deep within that kind of like starts it and stops it, but everything else kind of stays tight. I can turn it off. It starts out just as tight and finishes just as tight. Try and make yours like that. I'll show you again. Good stuff. Have some water. Hopefully this isn't too hard on your throat. Next, we are going for breathy I. Remember with your breathy sounds to always give them a little bit of that H. Like so. Very flat. Just like how the Pinchy voice is like the start and stop. This is the same idea. You don't want it to have like an arc. You will run out of breath, but you want it to be very steady, very stable. Try it out. You feel the warm air? Is it very steady? Is it very stable? Listen for mine again. See how stable and flat it is. I run out of gas eventually. One more. Oops, wrong button. Hee hee. Good. Good stuff. Take a few breaths in and out. We're almost done here. Have a little sip of water maybe. Next, we're going to Pinchy I. So remember, tight in here. Kind of, there's pressure up in here.
I.
Get that again. I've got a really nice, this tight buzzing.
I.
Yeah.
I.
Good. Have some water. And a reminder that if you're not getting any of this, you can watch earlier videos, and you can also rewatch videos to follow along for workouts. If there's ever a concept you're not getting in something, keep rewatching and reworking it until you do get it. And if you're really not getting it, something is just eluding you for whatever reason, feel free to leave a comment. Leave a comment here in the Twitch chat if you're watching it live. You can, if you watch it on YouTube, you leave a comment there on the YouTube channel. If you join the Discord, you can get direct feedback. I've got students posting, live voice clips or like recorded voice clips, and I can, tell them what I think they should work on within that. Not a bad idea if you're looking for some more direct feedback or if you're really having difficulty. And I want to know, anything I'm doing, is it clicking? Is it making sense? Am I moving too quickly? Am I moving too slowly? It really helps me to hear from you. So don't be afraid to ask questions. We've got one more sound I want to work with on this, and that's O. We're going breathy O, so give it that H sound. Have your hand up, Deep breath in. Use your diaphragm to push the air out through your mouth and relax in the shoulders. Lots of warm air on my hand. Try it. Oh. Yeah. Good stuff. Have a little water. Take a few breaths in and out if you're feeling a little lightheaded. That's the last of the really breathy sounds we need to be doing. Sorry, I wanted to move my feet. Oh, my knees ain't what they used to be. I can only sit cross-legged so long. Yeah, so we've done all these basic vowel sounds. You should be pretty warmed up in here. What I want to talk about is blending between them. This is the secret to what we ultimately are moving towards. So a lot of what I do with voice training is back-to-back training. You may have noticed that in previous episodes where you do one thing and then another thing right afterwards, usually with the intent to have one rub off on the other. Like if you're really good at one sound but you have difficulty with another sound, you can do back-to-back training and like you know, say I'm really good at ah but have a hard time with e, I would go ah, hey, and try and get my ah-ness to rub off on my e-ness. That sounds really dirty, but listen, it's useful training and you can do that. If you're having difficulty with anything, try that out. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're doing the other kind of back-to-back training. We're doing the kind where we have to learn how to be able to do one after the other to get into that blending. I gotta move my feet back. And I'm wearing big goofy dinosaur slippers, so yeah. It's cold sometimes on the floor. So, blending Pinchy Breathy. We're doing it back to back to start. We're going to start with breathy first and then Pinchy afterwards. That's because it's easier to relax and then get tight than it is to get tight first and then relax afterwards. It's, you know, if you stretch, you won't have a hard time doing yoga, and you probably will have an okay time with weights. You won't be strong necessarily, but you won't get hurt or sore too much. But if you do weights only and you never stretch and you go to a yoga class, oh boy, you'll be tight. Gosh, that's going to be a tough class. So, flexibility. I'm not trying to tight shame anybody, but moving on. So, back to back, we're going breathy. I take a breath in, Pinchy. I'll do one more and then I'll give you space for it. Try it out. Breathy, Pinchy. How's that? You feel like you're able to move lots of air in the first one, but you know, still be able to close up and get that nice kind of croaky, creaky feeling in the second one? If so, good. If not, don't worry. That's what you need to work on right now. And you can even go off and focus on that in your training for a little while, and that'll be good training for you. For the purposes of today, let's move on to switching it over, where we're going to go Pinchy first, breathy second. It'll be like this. Pinchy, inhale, breathy. I'll give you another here. Try it out. So after you did the tight, pinchy one, were you able to loosen up and move air? Did you feel, say, air on your hand? Because you did have your hand up while you did it, yeah? If you didn't notice that or you weren't able to get it, let's try it again and see what happens. I'll go again here. How's this? Yeah, were you able to loosen up a little more on that one? If you were having trouble with it? Or did you nail it 100% once again? Great job either way. Let's go again here. Yeah. How's your throat feeling with all this? You able to still creak without it hurting too much? And you able to go breathy without it hurting? Because sometimes really pushing yourself in one or the other just causes you to tighten up. Have a little water. And next we're going to go back to breathy first, pinchy second. But now we're going to do it like without a breath in between them. We're going to try and do them truly back to back. You'll see what I mean in a second. I didn't take a breath in. There was a clear distinction between each sound, but I did it all on the same breath. I'll show you again. Listen really closely. It's like I release the sound for a second and then continue on, just like I kind of did with that previous one. Why don't you try it out? Breathy, right away pinchy. Good stuff. If you made it this far, have a little water. Hopefully you're able to immediately go from relaxed and breathy and moving air into being tighter and pinchier. And if you have difficulty with that, don't sweat it. A big part of these workouts and this training isn't that I demand you get it perfectly with me the first time. It's that you get an understanding of what you're doing with your voice and what you want to be doing in order to get it where you want it to be. So basically where to focus in your training, because this is all about training on your own. As I don't think I talk about this too much. I feel like maybe almost I should talk about it more. You're practicing on your own, right? You can't just follow along with these. Like, you'll get okay results following along with me every week, but my assumption with these is that you are practicing during other times during the week too. You do your session with me here, and then you go off and practice, and a week later you do another session with me, and you get to see how far you've come. That's the ideal world, and I know we all have lives and busy schedules, but please try to fit some practice into your schedule, and you will make way faster progress. I guarantee it. And with all these things we're doing today, keep track of things you feel like you're having difficulty with. Those are the things you need to practice more. And then, of course, keep track of the things you feel like you're doing really well at, because it's good to have those. You got to have your fun things that you practice. It's good to feel proud of yourself and all that, right? So yeah, you deserve that. Okay, so we just did back to back, but with no like real break necessarily. Next, we're going to do the next step, which is blending. We're trying to blend from one to the other, and this may be very difficult, and it's okay if you don't get this. I want to show you where we're going with this, and you can always come back to this for training if you feel you're in a place where you can get it, more easily. But today, just try your best to follow along. Blending is all on one breath, no pause. It's a seamless transition between breathy to pinchy. We'll start with breathy to pinchy. So we're going like this. as like kind of loose, tight. Try it. See if you can clench everything in. If you're still having trouble sort of wrapping your head around it, think of it, it's like you're doing the right, our breathy sound, and then you're just kind of slowly clenching your abdominal region and your throat around it. Just choke the life out of that beautiful breathy voice. Also concentrate more tightness in the nose. I know you're not, there's nothing we're flexing in the nose, but it's like pressure in the nose. Try it again. Oh, that wasn't very good. Let's do one more. Good stuff. Have a little water. Hopefully you were able to get some kind of transition. Don't worry if it wasn't completely smooth. The main thing is you kind of understand where we're going with this, and something to think about as you do your other exercises as well. And every workout, you could try a little bit of this and see how you do with it. You'll notice yourself making progress. And what's wrong with that? Of course, the next one we have to do, and arguably the more important one we have to do, is Pinchy to Breathy. And like I said, it can sometimes be difficult to loosen up after being tight. So that's where this one gets really tricky, because we're starting out tight and then having to unclench around a breathy note. So it's starting with a pinchy note that unclenches, like ah. Did you see the tension visibly release from my body? That was me just like letting go. And I maybe ham it up a little bit for demonstration purposes, but it is what's going on. I'm releasing all the tightness in my abdomen, in like my throat, even stuff in here in my shoulders, and going into a completely relaxed breathy. Listen again. It definitely gets its most breathiest when I completely and fully relax. Try it out. See if you can release. Don't sweat it if you can't quite get it. We'll do it again here. Try it out. Let's do one more. Have some water. So, oh, I think my video cache got full. My video seems to be frozen. I don't know about my audio. This happened in a previous stream. I'm just going to unplug the camera. Hopefully you can still hear me. Oh, that's the wrong camera. Hi, much darker camera. No, I don't want that one. No, one sec. That's the wrong one. How could you do this to me? There we go. Is it doing it? Is that really? Oh, it is the right camera. It just seems much darker. It has gotten much darker out. I closed the blinds, but a little bit of light still affects me. I like it better. I don't know about you, but I like the atmosphere better when it's dark. I did an episode a while back where I had my main overhead lights on. I didn't like it. It was weird. I live most of my life in the dark. You can join me here. Anyways, so We've done the basics of blending. We're going to leave blending at that for now, but keep it in mind as we do the next thing we're doing. This is a little bit of jump and complication, but I promise we get to a little bit about speaking today, so that's what we're doing. This is my scruffy, like, Ronin hair I got going on. We're doing our basic phrase. I think we worked on it. I'm pretty sure we actually worked on it in some previous lesson. This is the voice I want to use, and we're going to be doing it in the breathy voice. That, yeah? So, in this one, we're going to be taking a breath for every single word. That's the easier way to start. And we want it to be very flat, very constant, and very airy, just like what we were doing previously with the breathy voice. So listen here to me. This is the voice I want to use. Ooh, lots of warm air on my hand on every sound there. I'm breathing in on everyone, sort of like that character on Malcolm in the Middle, that boy in the wheelchair, Stevie. Oh, that makes me lightheaded just saying that, though. So I'm going to have a little bit of water, and because I'm always afraid people don't get it, I'm just going to do one more example for you. This is the voice I want to use. Why don't you try that out? Oh, hey, that was the wrong thing I clicked on. I wanted to click on, I had to change the camera, right? Where is it? Sorry, everybody. Sorry, I lost the thing. There it is. Your turn, if you haven't already been doing it for your turn. I'm giving you space to do it for your turn. Did you say it? I hope you did. I'm gonna go again and then I'll properly do it. This is the voice I want to use. Try it again. I'm gonna have some water because I'm lightheaded. Good dilly bar. I'll give us one more here. This is the voice I want to use. Oof. How are you doing with that? You able to get some air even though it's different sounds? It's a little more difficult to keep it nice and loose and breathy when you're actually speaking words rather than just a and we'll do some exercises next week which will help you bridge this gap between basic vowel sounds and speech. But for today's purposes, I want to just focus on this stuff, so don't worry about it too much if you're not 100% there on this. Let's go to the Pinchy version of this. We're going to be doing the same thing. This is the voice I want to use. But instead of that moving air and all that relaxing stuff, it's the tighten the throat, measly,
Bugs Bunny,
so like this.
This is the voice I want to use.
I feel like this one's easier for a lot of people, so I'm just going to let you jump into it. How's that? Were you able to get it, like, shrunk down? Up in here? Look at my previous videos. I've done a lot of things on getting your voice more up into your head if you'd like to get more of that. But really important, feel in your nose and have that tightness, the vocal fry happening too in it. I'll show you again here.
This is the voice I want to use.
Tighten that throat, high in the nose. speak like you have a tracheotomy almost.
I'm sorry, this is insensitive to people who suffer from this real condition, but it helps me to prove a point.
It's the same thing then. But we go up higher into the nose.
Instead of being down here, it's up here.
Yeah? That's why we do the grudge ghost all that then. Same crap. If you can do, you can do, yeah? So.
This is the voice I want to use.
How's that feel? Feel nice and tight? Let's do one more here.
This is the voice I want to use.
Good stuff. Have a little water. Hopefully that's not hard on your throat. So, our purpose is to learn how to blend things together. So the next step here is to see if we can blend on This Is the Voice I Want to Use. But that's very difficult to jump right into that, right? So I think today the next thing we're going to do is a kind of back-to-back split screen This Is the Voice I Want to Use. And that's actually related to why we use the phrase This Is the Voice I Want to Use, because This Is the Voice I Want to Use is 8 words long, which means it's an even number, 4 and 4. So we can do 4 words of it in breathy and 4 words of it in pinchy, like so. This is the voice
I want to use.
Why don't you try that? 4 words breathy, 4 words pinchy. Easy, right? Let's try the reverse. We're going to go the first 4 words pinchy and then the next 4 words breathy, like so.
This is the voice
I want to use. Take a breath in on those breathy ones, by the way, if you have to. Were you able to release the tension after the tight part and go into a relatively breathy second half? Hopefully you were able to. Don't sweat it if this is difficult for you. It takes a little while to get this. Let's go to the next one I usually do, which is alternating. Let's do, to start, maybe 2 and 2. Yeah, so it'll be like this. We'll start breathy and go. You'll see how I mean. This is
the voice
I want
to use.
Try it. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. How was that? Did you feel like you were able to kind of get that? Don't sweat if you can't get it 100%. This is mostly to give you ideas for your training in the future. Next, let's go to the reverse. Same thing, it's still 2 words, but we're going to start pinchy. So we're going,
This is
the voice
I want
to use. So even there, I'm a little tighter on my breathy voice, so don't sweat it if you're a little bit tighter on there. Just try your best to relax after being tight. Good, good. Have a little water after that. And next we're going to go to true alternating. It's one after the other, 1 for 1. We'll start breathy. Not that it matters a whole lot on this one, but we'll be going, this
is the voice I want to use.
1 for 1. How was that for you? We'll try the opposite, so we're going to start pinchy I know it doesn't make a huge difference on this one, but let's just do it. We're going...
This is the voice I want to use.
Try it out. How's this feel? Hopefully you're fairly comfortable switching between. Don't sweat it if you're not 100% there. Have a little water. And now for the last thing we're going to do today, this is the secret. If you can master this, well, honestly, we're not 100% there, of course, but this is like the thing. This is what we're really building towards here. Giving you kids a little glimpse of the future if you're not already there. We're going to be blending here. This, like so.
This
after that. Does it make sense how I'm starting and just kind of clenching around it like we did with the previous one? I'm going to give you space to try this. No sweat if you don't think you can handle it. Oh boy. I'm going to take a few breaths in and out. Well, there should be plenty of time to have tried one round of that. How did it feel? Was it very raspy? Did you have difficulty releasing? Not surprising if this is the case. Of course, that's only part of it, because what we really want to do is tight to breathy. That more of the when I'm speaking, I'm going from a tighter place to a breathier place. Sometimes I finish a little tighter, pinchier, but that usually makes me sound like a bitch or like I'm angry. So I try not to do it that much. If I'm being nice and welcome and friendly, then breathier to finish softens it up. So that's what we most of the time, especially if we're wanting to go for a more feminine, yada yada, most of the time we're doing more pinchy to breathy. So, like this.
This is the voice I want to use.
Oh, golly. Give it a shot if you want. Gotta start out start out tight and then relax out of it. Not an easy thing to do. I should have like a timer or something so I know about how long to wait. Well, that covers almost everything you need to know to get into finding your voice. There is one more step beyond that, but I'm not going to dig into it today. We're basically at our finishing time. It's not good to train for more than an hour today. Or in general, rather, I should say. Hey, thanks for the follow, Blood Raven. Is that the same Blood Raven from Diablo 2? Oh my god! I'm honored. for training with me. Try to practice every day. Don't train for more than 1 hour at a time. Always drink plenty of water. If you have any questions, post them. Post them on Twitch, post them on YouTube, post them on Discord, even the Facebook posts. I want to know what people are concerned about with their voices. If you want feedback from me about your voice, join the Discord, upload a clip. I can help you out. I'll tell you what I think you need to work on. And don't be afraid to toss a tip your voice coach's way. I do this for free because I like helping people, but it's always helps an artist out to throw a coin their way. Time is money, especially when every single thing you do is monetized. That's being an artist. So any amount helps. Join the Discord. You gotta sign up for Patreon, a couple $1 a month. Helps me keep doing what I'm doing. And then you get access to the community where we're talking about arts and all sorts of things, as well as the voice training stuff. It's more inclusive than just voice training. But thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week. Keep training. Keep doing your best. Love you.